have heard that during the Chinese New Year holiday, cities like Shenzhen become almost deserted as people travel back to their hometowns outside of the cities. So today, we are taking advantage of this to visit Shenzhen Safari Park, an open-concept zoo that lets you get up close to all kinds of animals. Let me show you what $35 a night gets you here in the Bao'An district of Shenzhen. For our weekend stay in Shenzhen, we booked the Mcrsh Hotel at a rate of $35 a night. This 3-star hotel surprised us with the value we got for the money we paid. However, I had some serious issues with this accommodation. Something I always point out about that I don't really like about hotels in China is that they have these glass walls. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, if you're a couple. So if you're staying over here with somebody that you're not too comfortable with, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. At least the toilet is not next to this, because I stayed in a hotel with Harvey a couple months ago, actually, and the toilet was literally right next to the glass wall. That was not a good experience. Anyway, guys, it's pretty late tonight, so I'm going to turn off the camera and I will see you tomorrow. Before we head over to the safari park this morning, we're going to head over to some place called the Fuzhong Center. The Fuzhong Center is normally a bustling local market filled with affordable produce, clothing, and food. However, as we were here during the Chinese New Year, Shenzhen has almost become a ghost town, and this market was nearly deserted. I guess with it being New Year's time in Shenzhen, everybody has gone home to their hometowns, and so everything is shut down. Almost all the restaurants here, or all the food stalls are closed right now. We did find this one stall selling a variety of breads, and we picked up this white sugar flavor. Just kind of like a sweet bread, not too much flavor to it. A little bit of sugar, not bad, right? Just
and so warm.
So next we want to try this 肠粉 place right across. 我一份肠粉，加蛋肉。
加蛋加肉是吧？
对。
好，打包还是吃？
打包。
打包好。
7块吗
？8块钱。
8块钱。
就过年期间加。
好。It looks like there's one more place along this whole row of stalls that's open. This one is Dongbei Shuijiao. Alright, well, I am super excited for this breakfast that we've got here. We've got 15 pieces of corn dumplings for 15 RMB. That's a little more than $2 to USD. And then we've got our 肠粉, only 8 RMB. So since we got this first, maybe we can try this first. So this one, I've added egg and meat. I don't know what type of meat they put in here. Really nice. It's really rich with the soy sauce. Well, these are the corn dumplings, corn and meat. And it was kind of cool because she puts them in like a really big steamer that she has right outside her shop. Oh, interesting.
Oh, it's falling out.
Dang it, I lost the meat. Whoa. Did you guys see that? I bit into the dumpling, it literally exploded. All this water shot out of it.
And the yummy juices.
Next up, we are finally making our way towards the Shenzhen Safari Park. Compared to other zoos, this location operates largely on an open-ranged model, allowing animals to roam in naturalistic enclosures. I'm generally not the biggest fan and supporter of zoos, but I do think they at least provide a somewhat educational experience for those interested in learning more about animals. Whether or not this is a quote-unquote humane or ethical zoo, I'll let you be the judge of that. I think that everyone that stayed in Shenzhen is here at this park today. So we saw the entrance ticket was only like 100 RMB when we paid for it, and then it looks like it's so cheap because all the different activities inside, you have to pay for it yourself. So right here, there is a sightseeing train that takes you around the park. It takes you to see a lot of different animals, and the tickets are 40 yuan per person. I was kind of hoping this train would take you through a special path that goes through some of the animal exhibits, but instead it just follows the same walking path that everyone else was on. Not only that, with people walking everywhere, the train ride wasn't the smoothest. However, if you want to bypass some of the walking, this train does create a more relaxing way to get through the park, as it will make several stops at each of the main attractions. Once we got to the mammal section, I saw something I had never seen before in any zoo. They actually allow you to feed the animals. For just a few dollars, you can buy carrots or bananas and feed them to zebras and elephants. Whoa. This is definitely the most up close and personal I've ever been with animals like this. Oh, this is weird. Ew. Oh, weird. Look at their nose.
Very cool. Oh my gosh. I've never fed any of these animals before.
I feel like I'm generally not the biggest fan of zoos because just a lot of times they don't seem like the best environment for animals, but at least this one, I feel like the enclosures for the animals are pretty large, so I feel like they have decent amount of space. And then it seems like they are getting maybe a little bit too well fed. I'm not sure if they have like specific hours or if they just run the feeding times all day basically and allow guests to come in and like feed the elephants, zebra, everything. Like all the exhibits had like carrots and like other foods available for the animals. At times, I did find the lack of control a little disturbing, as I often saw kids throwing random food items into the animal enclosures. Speaking of lack of control, this zoo actually has come under controversy in the past. Back in 2014, a horse that was pulling tourists in a heavy carriage in the zoo for the 12th time that day collapsed and died. And while I didn't see any while we were here, this zoo does have a history of forced animal performances, surgical modifications such as declawing and removing teeth from tigers, and also questionable breeding practices. The Chinese government did crack down back in 2017, but honestly, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if some of these practices continue to this day. All right, of all the zoos I've been to, I have to say this one might have the best tiger exhibit I've ever seen. The highlight of the zoo is probably the tiger enclosure. This exhibit has an overhead walkway where you can walk directly above the tigers. If you want to get even closer to the tigers, you can wait in a long line to board a caged bus that will take you through the enclosure and allow you to feed the tigers. Yeah, this tiger feeding thing, it looks really cool, but the line is so long actually. And it looks like it ends at 4 o'clock, so don't have much time, I think. Unfortunately for us, the line was so long that we probably wouldn't have made it onto the bus before the zoo's closing time. Wow, how does it feel with 2 birds on you? Unfortunately, our plan to get some fried food after the safari didn't go well because we got hit by the New Year's closures again. So we've come to just this random mall that was nearby, and we're at this place. I think this is a chain called Yunnan Food. So this restaurant has a big focus on Yunnan food. We ordered some tomato beef noodles and then a couple side dishes that look really interesting. This thing has so many different ingredients on the inside.
I really like the tomato. Very good.
Wow, that's a very rich tomato broth. It's like, you know, when you open up those cans of tomato soup, that's what the broth is kind of like. But at the same time, it has more sourness, I feel like, more freshness of the tomato in it. The great thing about is for all of these dishes that we ordered, so a giant bowl of noodles, pork rib, dessert, and then the sides, free drinks, it only costs 58 RMB, which is about 10 USD. Okay, next we have this really nice looking, wow, super tender piece of pork rib. It smells like kind of like herbal, almost like bakute actually. I definitely get some bakute vibes from this pork rib here.
Ah, you're right. It just is very herbally.
Yeah, I really like it. I love how tender this is too. This tang shui that they gave us is actually using cassava root.
Whoa! It's like chewy, like mochi. The tang shui is basically just sugar water, or sugar syrup. But these are gooey.
Cassava is a thicker, more starchy type of root, so it makes sense that it's more chewy than a typical yam or potato. Oh wow, it's very chewy. How interesting actually. I feel like I've definitely had cassava root in dessert before, but this is the first time I've had it where it's so chewy like this. After a long day of walking, there's probably no better way to wind down at the end of the day than by coming to one of China's 24-hour spas. To wrap up our trip in Shenzhen, we are heading to Yunshan Treasure 24-Hour Spa. These spas have started popping up all over China and are known for their 24-hour access to unlimited fruits and drinks, gaming areas, saunas, and massages. This location even had table games like pool and table tennis, as well as a free arcade and private karaoke booths. Anyways, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Next week, I'll be heading up to Changsha, the city where Chairman Mao received his higher education. If you don't want to miss any of my upcoming China content, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. With all that said, I'll see you in the next one.